Hi guys, my name is Neil Patrick S. Alba, a second year IT student from the University of Santo Tomas, Section 2 ITJ under the class of Mamideth Abisado. I'm going to discuss the diagram a view of operating system services. So basically what this diagram shows is that inside the operating system, there are user interfaces, system calls, and services. Before anything, I'll shortly explain what an operating system is. An operating system is the most important software that runs on a computer. It manages the computer's memory and processes, as well as all of its software and hardware. It also allows you to communicate with the computer without knowing how to speak the computer's language. Without an operating system, a computer is useless. With that said, let's go into the user interfaces. A user interface is the space where interactions between user and a computer system occur. There are three types of user interfaces. First is the graphical user interface, or the GUI. So the GUI basically allows the user to interact with the electronic device through a graphical representation instead of, let's say, text navigations. Batch is a user interface that enables a program to execute a series of commands from a text file without human interaction whatsoever, prior to executing the batch itself, where the user inputs all the details of the batch job itself. Command line is a user interface for an operating system or a system application. The user specifies a command on a specified line, which the system receives and replies back to the user. This process will continue on until terminated by the user itself or the system. So next to the user interfaces is the system calls. So a system call provides an essential interface between the process and the operating system. Users and developers in particular do not have direct access to the system calls, but they can actually access them through application programming interface, or API. But I cannot discuss the API as I have no knowledge about this yet. Next to system calls is services. First is program execution. This simply means that the system should be able to execute any program either normally or abnormally. Next is input-output operations. There are programs within the system that require input and output. This can be a text input or a file input from the user. Next is file systems. This is being used by one of the OS to keep track files of the disk or the partition itself. Next is communications. This refers to the mechanisms of what an OS provides that allow processes it manages to share data. Next is resource allocation. This OS services allocates certain resources from the computer system for it to run. For example, is when a user opens a program, this will be counted as a process. Next is accounting. This service keeps track of the user's activity. Next is error detection. This refers to detecting impairments over data transmitted from a source to a destination. This service ensures a reliable deliverable of data across the system. And last is protection and security. Protection refers to the issues internal to the OS. These are policies that keep program and the users from accessing or changing the stuff on the data that should not be changed whatsoever. Security, on the other hand, refers to the issues external to the OS. It requires authentication or a user validation of some sort. So, besides that diagram, I will also be discussing a standard C library example. So it says here that this is a C program invoking the printf function library call, which allows you to call the right system call. So in this line in particular, the printf with the input of a string greetings, when ran by the user, this will then call the standard C library, which will then call the right system call and return back to the standard library call and return back to the program with the output greetings. So that's basically it. Thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.